Welcome to the Sports Insider Pro Daily Fantasy Football Podcast. From cash games to GPPs, we'll give you the info you need with breakdowns of all the games and key matchups to help you create your lineup. And now, here are your hosts, Ryan Hickswa and Justin Alvarez.
Hello, Insiders. Welcome to Week 5 of the Sports Insider Pro DFS Football Podcast. I am Ryan Hickswa. Alongside me is Justin Alvarez. How you doing today, Justin?
Great, ready to dive in. Feeling good about this week.
I think it's gonna be a good week. Week 4, we kind of know our trends a little bit more than we have before. This season, now this week is where you can start to use your data that you've gathered from the start of the season instead of trying to just rely on what they did last year. So we're going to change up the format a little bit. We're going to go over a few games that we in particularly want to talk about, and then we're going to break down positionally, studs, mid-value, and then your real value plays that we're looking at this week. So let's start off with probably the number one game of the week, what everyone's probably going to be watching. Green Bay at Dallas. Right now the over-under is at 52.5. Obviously, this game is going to be packed with fantasy goodness. Everyone's going to be on it. I can see everyone here being chalky or all these plays being chalky. But both teams have 2 top 5 implied team totals for the week. Where are we looking to attack this game?
I think it's pretty simple. You're going to the air mostly against both of these defenses. On the Packers side, Aaron Rodgers is probably the best QB on the slate.
Sure.
Tom Brady's not in the slate. He is expensive, so I'd keep him more for GPPs, and I'm probably going to have a lot of stacks of this game between Cobb, between Nelson. Nelson's a great play this week. Considering Adams might not play, or if he does, he's probably going to be, I don't know. I don't think he's going to play, but as of right now, it's Thursday. We don't know yet.
Sure.
And then Ty Montgomery, I don't think should play, but there's supposedly he might play with broken ribs, which doesn't make any sense to me. So there's that. But even so, if he plays, I don't think he'll be very effective. So my main targets here are Cobb and Nelson.
Yeah, I agree with Cobb.
And I'm going to fade Martellus. He looks like he might be a little chalky as I see ownership for him. Kind of high projected ownership. So I'm not really... but I'm okay playing naked Rodgers. If you want to go that route, he's gonna produce. Just I don't know where exactly. Also, Allison. If Devontae Adams does not play, I like Allison as a really cheap. He's almost min price on FanDuel, and you saw what he could do when he's out there. And they're gonna be throwing. That's all they do. So
Absolutely.
that's me on that side. Do you have anything to add on that side?
Yeah, I think Cobb, everyone's going to want to play Jordy. I'm probably going to want to play Jordy, but I think Cobb is the play here. You saw last week Cooper Kupp. You saw the week before that Larry Fitz. The guy that's running out of the slot against the Cowboys are going to produce. And if Adams is out, it all kind of depends, on what happens with Adams. But I still, I know Jordy goes into the slot too. I don't mind either of them. They're going to rotate their wide receivers around. Aaron being the top quarterback on the slate, I think he's definite GPP play. As we're kind of seeing, cheap quarterbacks being the way to go for cash, so you can fit in those studs. Obviously, you know what you're going to get. He should have his 2 linemen back as well, Rodgers. So there should be a little bit more protection for him, giving him a little bit more time. Not that he needs a lot anyway. On the Dallas side, I don't mind Prescott this week as a cash quarterback. I mean, he's a little high priced on DraftKings, but I mean, the game that's projected to be a shootout, he put up some decent points last week. He's always consistent in those upper teens to 20s, and that's what you're looking for cash. Obviously, not GPP. Um, you know, Zeke, he's going to get fed the ball. Are we looking to go there?
I think he's an okay play. Like, I don't love it compared to some of the other guys, but I do have only one, two, three, four, literally five guys I'm looking at running back, and he's one of them.
Sure.
So without him, it would be four, but he's my fourth guy. So I don't think I'm gonna have a lot of him, but I'll probably sprinkle him in just because of this high total. But I don't love the spot. I love Dez a lot more. I love the Prescott.
No, I agree. Dez is definitely the play.
Yeah, I think you have to play him in cash.
Sure.
I think it's if you miss out, like the targets are there. He's had worse matchups.
Oh
so
yeah, horrible
now
matchups to start the season. This is his first decent matchup.
Exactly. So you have now a great matchup, and with Rodgers on the other side, there should be a lot of points being scored back and forth.
Sure.
I think he has potential for a lot of fantasy points, and if you don't play that in cash, right? DraftKings, he's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
So if you don't have him, you're probably way behind, and I think it's just something you have to live with for chalk this week. So that's it. I think I don't like the tight ends, running backs, Elliott a little bit, but nothing. So just basically the pass game for me in this game is where I'm looking at.
All right, our next game that Justin, you really wanted to talk about, which maybe it's just because you're a homer. Your New York Jets versus the Cleveland Browns. The under/over is a whopping 39. So tell me what you like in this game.
I see the total going to a 48-50.
Wow.
This is one of those games. I've been reading a lot about Vegas totals and how they basically, when they go over, it's actually by a lot. And so I've been listening to a lot of this Vegas sharp stuff from a lot of really smart has the potential to do the same thing. Reason being, Cleveland's defense is atrocious against the pass, and McCown hasn't been anything great, but he hasn't been terrible. He's managed the game. He makes the throws. He has a high completion percentage. So I'm even debating starting him in cash.
Oh my God! This again?
Look, it's viable. I think.
What about the running back play? Are you looking?
I'm staying away completely. Cleveland has stopped running backs all year. That's actually been 4 weeks of limiting running backs.
Dude, I think those 2 wins have went right to your head. I think you're tied with the Patriots, which is great. But I think you're drinking too much Kool-Aid.
No, I'm telling you. Look, the past DVOA for Cleveland. Sure. 48.9, that ranks 30th in the league. Now, mind you, there's a tight end in this game who's going to be chalk. So
you think so?
Yeah,
Cleveland. You don't think people are going to go Ertz? Look, I love ASJ this week, and I should have had more. I should have had more Croft last week, and I don't know why I didn't do it. Totally missed it. It was such a bad play. I'm a moron. So bad because he fits my builds 110%. But I think you have to go to him, no? You there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay.
You broke up. What were you saying? You have to go where?
To ASJ.
Yeah, again, so just looking back a couple, we have a 4-game sample size. It's kind of showing what each team is basically. We're getting there. So Cleveland can't stop a tight end. It's just that simple. I do have like a few other spots where I like tight ends as well, but in that offense, and I think they're going to be stopping the run Cleveland. It's going to be a lot of targets that are going to be going to the wide receivers and tight end. And I think ASJ has the most upside of most of these guys. He has the athleticism, and once you get down in the red zone, tight ends
Yeah, he was
they're
having a good
usually
game in the
successful down
beginning
there.
of last week
Yeah,
before.
so I think it's a perfect spot for him. That's going to be my cash guy for tight end. I do like Ertz, but his matchup is a little more difficult. Arizona, stops tight ends pretty well.
Sure.
There's one other guy. Well, there's three other tight ends I have on my list, but we'll get to them, I guess. And then, so I just think Curse and Bobby Anderson, you can.
Breaking up on me.
Hello?
I'm here.
Okay, sorry. Um, I think this is just a great spot for the Jets. They aren't as bad as I guess we thought they were going to be.
Sure.
Um, and this Cleveland team is worse than people thought they were going to be, and they have no offense. I
Are you
like the
looking to
Jets
attack
defense.
anyone on the Browns?
No, not one person.
Yeah, I'm not either. People are going to be on Crowell. I know people are talking about him. I mean, he's priced right.
The only person would be Duke Johnson.
Sure.
But I am not playing him on FanDuel. No PPR.
Right.
So for you, I would personally look at Duke Johnson. He's been seeing a lot of playing time. Crowell just looked awful.
Yeah.
And if I do think this can stay competitive, and I do think it's gonna go it's gonna go over the total. He's probably gonna be the guy that keeps the game close with the Jets. So I think due to the run game stoppage of Cleveland, you have to look at the Jets guys as some viable options at their cheap prices. And McCowan might be my cash game line. I don't know yet. I don't want to say that. There's another cheap guy I'm looking at, which I'll probably go him first, but I'll have my fair share of McCowan and GPPs.
Awesome. All right. The next game we have is Kansas City at Houston. It is a 46.5 total. I didn't catch much of the Kansas City game. I know it was a crazy ending. Obviously, we have Watson coming off of, his real breakout game. What are you looking to attack here?
DeAndre Hopkins.
Sure.
On Houston. I think that's going to be... I don't know if he's going to be chalky for the main slate, but I don't know. Like, he's still a good play no matter what. The volume's there, the targets are there. They have Fuller back. The guy I would look to more than anyone else, I think, would be Lamar Miller.
Are you going back to the well, huh?
I'm not in love with it, and he's not on my top running back list, so I'm probably gonna skip out on him.
Sure.
But if you're playing, when do they play? 4 or 5?
No, I think they're the 8:00 game.
Okay, so if you're playing that late slate, I think he's a guy to look at. I don't love it either, though, because Kansas City has been way better against the run. But if you're playing in a 2-game sample size, it might be all right. But outside of them, I don't love anyone else. Do I like Watson? I like the kid. They do play man, so
sure.
That helps running quarterbacks. So his floor might be a little higher. You can go there. He's not out of the question. But on the Kansas City side, I'm kind of fading everyone except Hill. That's
sure.
the only guy
I agree.
I'm looking at. Everyone else, the Houston defense against the run is great. They they protect against catch passing backs pretty well as well.
Right.
So I think Tyreek Hill, if you're going to play someone from this game, it is him. On the other side, if you're going to play Hopkins, so I don't. That's
I don't
literally
have
all
this.
I have
Isn't
for
on my
this.
main
Do you
slate,
have
so I
anything
haven't
else?
really done anything on it.
Okay.
Hill's going to be a GPP guy. I don't think he's going to be that high owned because the past couple of weeks he's been, not really make value that you're expecting. So this could be a good one for him. We know that pass defense. Mariota was having an okay night before he got hurt.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I think Hill's probably the only play, especially with the way running backs are broken down right now.
Are you an Alex Smith fan?
No. Next game. We have the Chargers at the Giants with a 44.5 over under. I think this is a if you look, I think you have to play. You have to have exposure to the Dallas Green Bay game, in my opinion, just because of how crazy it can go. If you really wanted to pivot, I think this is the game you want to attack. I know there might be some weather concerns going into it, but both of these teams pass, and that means stopped clock. It means more plays, which give people more opportunities. From the New York side, maybe I'm going to get it because I'm going to say this since you took your Jets guy. I think Eli Manning's my cash quarterback this week.
I don't know your pricing on DraftKings, but is he like the cheapest compared to some other QBs? Because I might not hate it, but I think I'd rather other guys.
Yeah, the only guys underneath him are maybe Rivers, Brissett.
Okay, Brissett. That's who I'm looking at. Besides my McCowan call.
Other than that, yeah. Maybe I. I'm not looking to attack. Hoyer.
You're not? I like all those guys. I like Hoyer. I like Brissett. Look, why are we talking about this?
I'd rather have Brissett though, in cash, and we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, okay. No, I mean Eli's only $500 more, on DK than Brissett. I think he's a little safer. There is no run game in New York. Obviously, we've seen it for 4 weeks. Why not a fifth? West Coast team going East Coast, 1:00 game. We know that, they notoriously underperform. So I think, both teams, but again, there's the narrative of both teams are 0-4. Someone's going to come out of this with a win, unless they tie, which would be God amazing. Please make that happen. We almost saw it last week with the Jets. Let's see it this week with the Giants. I think everyone, though, on the air game is in play for the Giants. I think, Odell, sure. I definitely want to look at, though, Shepard, because he's getting a lot of targets, and then going back to the well with Ingram. I did it last week and it worked. He's still underpriced, I think, in my mind at 4,000 on DraftKings. I don't know what he is on FanDuel.
I don't know. I love him though. He's my other, like, it's between him and Jenkins. Right, Jenkins? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's between him and Jenkins for me, for cash over here. So.
The Giants, though, are pretty bad at defending the run.
This is where I wanted to ask you, what do you think? Because I am not a big Melvin Gordon fan. I know he's involved a lot, but he's just looked bad. He's never, even last year, I told you, he wasn't good. In the system, if they're going to pass him the ball like 15 times, fine. But it's not happening. I don't know if it's,
look, I am a Gordon supporter. I think someone that gets that kind of volume and can do what he does is worth a shot. They underprice him very hard. I haven't seen him at $6,000 in a very long time, but I think it's a trap. I think DraftKings just wants you to pick it. God, I'm going to have some exposure to him. You have to. he's a guy that can win you a tournament. He can go off for 25 points, and at under 5% ownership, he's gonna. And if you want to fit in some of those wide receivers, those Jordy Nelsons, those Antonio Browns of the world, I know it's not a complete punt and cheap out, but 6,000 isn't a lot for a guy that could give you what he can give you. And I know I'm talking him up right now. Like, it sounds like I'm going to be all over him. I just think there's better running back plays this week, but I'll have some tournament exposure to him.
Okay, I agree, and I'm going to be way under the field to him, like, way under.
That might be a very small field.
I don't think so. I think a lot of, like, people still, he's Melvin Gordon,
Sure.
He's the only guy there, like, and I'm, like, even if he's 15%, 10%, like, I'm going to have, like, 2%, like, I don't like the spot. I mean, they are terrible against the run, it's just, they're terrible at running the ball in general, so it's, which one's going to win? I don't know, but I'm going to put my money on the Giants beating them on that. So,
what do we think about Keenan Allen this week?
I don't like it. A lot of people like it. I don't love it.
Jenkins doesn't go into the slot much. I don't think he's going to see a lot of him. Look, last week showed that, cornerback wide receiver matchups aren't always cornerback wide receiver matchups. And you saw Evans, go off, and he was kind of a nice late pivot I had. I know people are going to be off of him, with the Giants, but I don't think this defense is holding up to what it was supposed to be. And again, it comes with a risk. I don't think Keenan Allen is cash game. I don't think any of the Chargers are, just because of the West Coast going east early. But I think he has a solid floor. So if you want to give yourself a nice base on a tournament with some solid upside, I think Keenan Allen's the way to go. On the other hand, and the only other person I would suggest maybe playing is Hunter Henry.
Yeah, I wouldn't suggest him, but I don't understand. They don't use him enough. He's seen like 2 or 3
I think
targets.
That's something that has to change. I heard them talking about it in the commentary last week's game about how they wanted to use him more. Obviously, they have to figure something out.
They haven't, because he has to block because their line's so crap.
Sure.
So I think they need to use him, and if they do, just quick dump offs. At least it's 4 yards. Like, just do it. He catches the ball. He's athletic. He's a mismatch for most people. Like, so they need to use him, but I'm not ready to use him until I see that they're using him.
Sure.
So I don't love this game as much as other people do. I know the volume's there, and for DraftKings, it's probably way better because, PPR. But
sure,
I see a lot of inefficient plays gonna go down, and a lot of field goals, or not even. I just think there's gonna be a lot of punts. I don't.
Look, there's going to be a lot of volume.
Does. Maybe I'm missing something.
Sure. Look, from a game theory standpoint, there's going to be a lot of plays run, and that normally means that someone's getting production. I think Eli's a good enough quarterback to get it to the person that it needs to go to. I don't think these defenses are as vaunted as they were made up to be. The only thing holding me back is Phillip Rivers, because he's a hothead, and he's being more Phillip Rivers than Phillip Rivers has ever been Phillip Rivers, this season, which is great, because you think, somehow at the end he's going to finish as a top 6 quarterback, and you're going to wonder how the hell you got there. But yeah, that's
I mean, I can see Odell. If his targets were like 15 last week or something.
Sure.
Insane. So that can, if he catches 2 of those and brings them back, it could be a big day. So he's the only guy I'm looking on the Giants side, the only one, because he can move to the slot. They move him around, so he won't see Hayward all the time.
Yeah.
So I'll have some exposure in GPP, but I don't love anyone else. And maybe for you, Sterling makes sense because he does run a lot of his routes in the slot, so I could see that. But yeah, I think I'm staying mostly away, especially in cash.
All right. The last game I have is the San Francisco 49ers at the Indianapolis Colts, over under 44, with Indy being favored slightly. Um, Look, I think there's a lot of good value plays in this matchup. Obviously, Luck is still out, even though he came back to practice. I love Brissett. Brissett played pretty well last week. I know it didn't really show, but I mean, you asked a lot of a kid
They
going
played.
into it.
Who they play last week?
Seattle.
They played Seattle. Yeah, and
Right,
so
and you
yeah,
want to
he
run
did pretty
against
well
Seattle,
coming out.
and then I mean, you know, I think
Yeah.
this is a much better matchup. This is the matchup that everyone was targeting all the Cardinals against, but then Carson Palmer reminded people that he was Carson Palmer just as much
Yeah.
as Phillip Rivers is him. You know, I think the
He's
running.
safe though, Carson Palmer.
Yeah, don't. We're not.
He's throwing 50 times. Hey, I'm just saying, cash. He's pretty much never wrecked you.
There is never.
He's never wrecked you.
If you think Melvin Gordon's a trap, Carson Palmer is a trap
So you
this
like
weekend.
the
Is a
Eagles defense?
trap.
That Eagles
Absolutely.
defense is trash.
Absolutely. No, I mean, look, do I want to play them? No, I want to play the Steelers. I want to play.
Yeah.
There's other defenses I want to play, but no.
I don't think he's a trap.
No,
at
they're
all.
gonna get. Let's finish this game and then we'll go over some.
They
of that
have
stuff.
Andre Ellington.
That's fine.
That should be beautiful for you over there. Like,
Yeah.
if they come with a lot of pressure, there's going to be a lot of yards,
A lot of dump
from
offs.
little dump offs,
Sure.
and that's going to work. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter if he has to throw 10 yards. If
Yeah.
you can dump it off,
Yeah, but that's
you're
Carson Palmer
golden.
throwing to one person. He still has to get the ball to the other ones, and he's not going to be able to.
And
Anyway.
he still does. Oh my God, I'm sorry. Like, I can't believe you're saying like he's like dead. Like, his arm isn't dead. He still makes the throws down there. And he throws the ball far, like, compared to most QBs. Like, he's doing an okay job. It just hasn't been efficient. And mind you, his wide receivers have drop balls as well.
Yeah, but
So
no,
it's not only-
no. I'm not talking. Look, I'm talking about this week. It's trap. West Coast going east. This team, out of anyone, he's too old to travel coast to coast and make it work. I'm just staying away. I think there's better plays on.
I like the outside receivers of Arizona.
Sure, no, I don't mind that too, but I don't see. Look, if you tell me I'm not gonna cash because Carson Palmer went nuts and 50% of people had him, then I'm a go. Like, I'm a
50%. They're not gonna have him. I'm just saying. I don't think it's like a right thing to say that he's like, oh no, like. I think it's viable, very viable, and I think he still can have a good game and potentially have a great game.
I don't think this is the week, though.
We've always thought it was the last 4 weeks.
No. Yeah, but not. No, I think the Eagles. I think the Eagles are real. I think they're a real team, and they're gonna take it. I think they're gonna take it to the Cardinals. The Cardinals are not a good team. Bro, but dude,
they're not.
How bad did they look against the San Francisco 49ers?
They can win solely because
How bad did they look against the San Francisco 49ers? The Eagles are a much better team. A much better team.
In totality, but they're now Alshon Jeffrey is going to be like basically.
Who cares?
My point is, how are they
going
to score? How are they scoring? Tell me
how are they scoring? Nelson Aguilar.
Okay, now we're putting our money in Nelson Aguilar.
Sure. Okay. I'm not putting my money in. No, I'm putting my money in the fact that I think that the Cardinals are not going to win that game.
Okay, but but you make it seem like
no. I think it's going to be ugly. I think you remember the sharp people say unders go under. I think this is going under. I think the defense is good enough. This is your punts. This is your punts game. They can't. I don't think they're going to be able to score points. They'll get yards, but the Cardinals. But I don't see points. Anyway. San Francisco and Indianapolis. I like Brissett. You apparently like Brian Hoyer. I'll put that on the board behind me.
Brissett's the better play, though. If I'm going anywhere.
I think
he has
think
the running upside.
Right. At a little cheap of a price, I think he's pretty safe. I don't. This Niners defense is a bad defense. Carson Palmer couldn't exploit that like others could, like Jared Goff, and Dak Prescott. But I'm going to say Jared Goff exploited this defense, and Carson Palmer couldn't.
Jared Goff
exploited
bad.
them.
I don't understand why people think Jared Goff is bad. He was bad 1 year.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, if Jared Goff could do it, Carson Palmer should have been able to do it too.
Okay, but there's a lot of spots that should have, would have, but sometimes the teams don't show up.
Right.
But that's. But
and I don't think the Cardinals are showing up this week.
We don't take one game and say, oh man, that week they were so bad. Like that's how DFS.
Yeah, but that's every week for the Cardinals. They play every week. Stop. If they didn't throw that overtime touchdown, people.
It doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
It doesn't matter because
they had to get it into overtime for anyone to get any value out of it.
So now garbage time doesn't matter. Overtime.
It wasn't garbage time, but you can't wait. That's extra time that you're not thinking they're gonna play.
Okay, fine. I get that, but at the same time, they could have been up and won the game by some margin, or they would have lost already and wouldn't have got to overtime. My whole point is that you still have to get it done, and they were the ones to get something done. He did it. Fitz did it. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I just hate that people are like, oh well, they struggled. Like, who hasn't struggled?
Yeah, I know. But I think
struggle.
Tom
Brady struggled week 1.
But the Eagles' defense,
Brady, he should never struggle.
The Eagles' defense is better than the Niners' defense. Am I wrong?
No, their front 7 is better.
Okay, so they're going to get pressure on a bad line, correct?
They hardly got pressure last week.
Cardinals line is
a bad line. But the same thing
it's one of the worst
David
in the
Johnson. League. That's why they're using Ellington, because they're like, oh, David Johnson used to be able to just get a bunch of little, and now they're like, oh, Ellington, he's one of those guys. Here, and then they're gonna be like, oh shit, we gotta stop pressuring because they keep doing that. Bam, opens up everything else. I think they have a good shot, and I think the spread is like minus 6.5. I think they cover easy. So whatever, that's me.
Sure, but that's what I mean. I think it's a low scoring game that doesn't have.
Their outside cornerbacks are shit. Like John Brown and Jerron Brown should crush them.
I hope so, because I don't mind Jerron just because I think he might be low owned. Price. Right.
Love it. He's my guy. He is my guy.
But, he's my punt guy. Back to the other game that we were talking about 5 minutes ago.
Okay.
Sorry.
Indy?
Yes. I have a few plays that I think are going to be great here. I think Carlos Hyde, I'm very excited to play him, as I always am very excited to play him.
Love him.
And then I kind of love T.Y. Hilton.
I don't love him, but I like him.
Yeah, I think he's going to be in a lot of my tournament lineups.
He should do good this week.
Look, he's priced under Dez. And DK. He's in that 6,000 range. I just think this is a defense that'll allow him to break it. We saw that he could do it against the Browns. I don't know why there's not a reason he could do it again. The only thing is, I can see everyone else. Like, he might be one of DeAndre Hopkins of last week, where he's owned 50+%.
So
maybe.
So
not
have
really.
him, because you need him.
Yeah.
You need him if that's the case. If he's going to be...
Actually, now that I kind of hear it, maybe they won't, because people are going to want to be on the Dallas Green Bay guys. Dez. I can see Dez being that 50% guy. But I think T.Y.'s got some sneaky goodness.
I'm not on T.Y. as much, especially in cash. I'm not. GPP, I'll probably have him way more.
I'm not going to play him in cash, I don't think, yet, unless I kind of really fall in love with him, or I want the stack. Doyle's still in the concussion protocol. Moncrief might even be a decent play.
That's very sneaky, Moncrief, and that's like a dart throw, again, not cash.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't have a lot of him.
Yeah.
I won't have a lot of him, but he's been this guy that everyone like, oh yeah, Moncrief. He's never gone crazy. Like, he's never had that upside. He had a safe floor kind of with luck, kind of, but
yeah.
Again,
but I mean,
T.Y.
it's only Brissett's fourth game now with the team. I like him better than than trying to go after Robinson if Goodwin's out. I think maybe not.
Well,
I don't
yeah,
know.
I agree. I think I agree with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jerron Brown. So forget Aldrich. That's
Yeah,
the guy I'd go
sure.
to over.
Yeah, I agree. Because Aldrich's got to catch those 12 targets.
Yeah,
Like if you're only going to catch a quarter of your passes, like
doesn't matter.
that's not going to help anyone.
Yeah, but but if he catches 10 of 12, like then it's like
Yeah, but
it's
if
probably
he
like
was catching
shit.
10 to 12 targets, he wouldn't be Aldrich preseason stud Robinson. He would be. He'd be right there along Pierre Garçon.
I guess. What do you think of Pierre Garçon?
I think Vontae Davis is getting healthier, and I'm not really gonna want to attack it. I don't
Do
think that's
you
part
think
of the game
Vontae
plan.
Davis is that good anymore? Because I know
No,
he's been injured, but he just looks like not the same guy.
no, but still, you know, he's really the only person that is important to stop in that passing attack. I think, and I also don't
So,
think that the game script's gonna go that way. I
he
think they're
got
really going to
torched.
want to establish the run game and running out of the backfield. I can see this being that game where Hyde and
Hyde
and Breida, if he's
available.
healthy enough, kind of you start to see that Devontae Freeman, Tevin Coleman, that Shanahan brought. He's going to want to really just protect Hoyer a bit. So I don't think going to the wide receivers is necessarily the play this week.
Yeah, Hyde's my favorite play by far on that
Yeah.
team, and for the most part, that's where I'm sticking. Unless I go Hoyer, but I think I like Brissett a lot more. They're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna run all over. Indy is gonna run all over them, so it's
sure.
Yeah.
No, I think this should be a competitive game. I mean,
yeah.
It'll be one of the better ones, I think. All right. Your last game, and I'd love to make fun of this, but God, you picked a dumpster fire. It's Tennessee at Miami, and I know how this is going to go, so go for it, because I want to hear it.
Devontae Parker, play of the week, cash game, play of the week. Right next
now,
to
look,
Dez.
now pay attention to weather. Pay attention to weather. There is a hurricane that's supposed to, or a storm. So the wind might be powerful down there. Just keep an eye on it before you start playing, air attack guys.
But regardless of that, if everything is okay, love Devontae Parker. His floor, he's getting a lot of targets, and they're a lot downfield. So I love it. I think this is a game he could finally go off, the game that everyone's been waiting for him. Jay Cutler is whatever. He's just Jay Cutler.
Sure,
but
everyone loves him.
Again, I will pair him in GPPs with it.
Oh, God.
Parker.
Good for you.
He's going to be owned. What?
Nothing.
What?
Great.
What?
Are you scared about the blowout factor? You don't think? I mean, you don't see
they
them.
Can't run the ball against Tennessee.
If they get up by 2.
Tennessee is a funnel defense again. It's a funnel defense.
Yeah, but they're not going to have any offense either. They can easily just run Jay Ajayi and Kenya Drake the second half. No?
Well, my whole point is that they can run the second half and then start losing or give the score back, and then Parker's going to have to keep coming. Landry's going to have to keep coming. Sure. I like Parker more than Landry. Landry I like more in DraftKings.
Of course.
And no one else, but I will have my fair share of Cutler, my McCowans. I'm pairing these guys with the wide receivers at low ownership, and I'm hoping one of them pays off because they're all in good matchup. We saw Cam Newton; he's looked like crap all year against a bad defense. He got it done. I'm just telling you, it's daily fantasy. It's all about the matchups. It's opportunity and matchups, and these are the ones you gotta take risk on them. You gotta just go for it, and I'm gonna go for it. Like whatever, like it might not work out, but at the same time, I think it's going to more times than not. So yeah, I like this. And then on the other side, I don't mind I mean, I want Mario to play. Obviously, it would help, but I don't mind running Matthews back even for Castle, whatever. Like
Look, they'll
he's
have a
gonna have
week
to
to
throw to
practice. I
somebody.
know Castle's bad, but you can't,
Yeah,
it was
and that defense, you can beat them in the air.
sure.
So, and he should see a lot of targets. So
Awesome.
I like him.
All right, so now we're going to go into our positional breakdowns. We're going to go over our studs, our mid-tier, and our value plays at each position. I'll do DraftKings, and Justin will do FanDuel. Justin, who's looking like your stud running quarterback that you'll be looking to play on FanDuel?
Are we talking tiers or just in general?
Tiers.
All right, so top tier, obviously, it's Aaron Rodgers. There's no one. He's 9,500. The next guy's Russell Wilson at 8,000. So it's clear cut him in that game against Dallas. I don't think I really have to
Sure,
go
it's
into
going
much
to be the
detail.
same on DraftKings too.
Okay. Mid tier, I'd go with Dak Prescott. He's 7,700 in that same game. Should be back and forth. Um, and then for 100 less, I like. Um, well, no, I don't like him. Wentz might be viable, but I don't like any of the weapons over there. Uh, I don't. I just think his ceiling's capped. So it's Prescott in the mid tier, and then for the lower tier, um, it's going to be Brissett and McCowan for me as of recording this. I'm Deshaun Watson. He's 7,500, so that's closer to the mid tier. I just think it's best to go down here to Brissett 7,000 and McCowan 6,800. You have Manning right there at 7,000 as well. I just don't like his. He's not safe enough. And Kaiser, Cutler, Hoyer. Hoyer might be in play, but I'm not going there yet. And oh yeah, this guy EJ Manuel. I'm not playing him, but people want to.
Awesome. Yeah, I would have to agree with Rogers. Obviously, I think he might be a great GPP guy. I know it's going to be tough to play stacks with him, but I don't see them scoring too many touchdowns otherwise. I don't mind paying Prescott, who's probably in the top tier at 68. But if I'm in that range, I'll probably go down to Eli. And then as value, Brissett on DK is 5,600. I think that's pretty safe.
How much is McCown?
Oh, don't. It's 45.
Woof!
Yeah.
Cash game.
No way.
Easy.
Oh, God.
Man, they're begging you. They're like, why wouldn't you do this? It's the perfect spot. Whatever. That sounds like Brissett and then McCowan to me, but
Yeah.
I'd probably go McCowan first.
Crazy.
That's too much of savings. That's
It is.
incredible. What are his game logs? Like, look at them. They don't kill you, and at that price, what?
God, I have to keep going down. Where was he? Oh, God. Ugh, it's so
45.
gross. He had 6.96 points last week against a good defense.
Week.
That's against a good defense.
What else?
14, 16, 11.
Hello.
Yeah.
4,500? That's 3 times his price.
Oh, God.
4 times
So
his
gross.
price.
Oh, and there's the revenge narrative, too.
Oh,
Oh, God.
Oh, my goodness. Stack him with Jenkins. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yeah. Maybe you're right.
Right.
Oh, God. What are
to
we
look
telling
into
people
that,
to do? All right, at running back.
Smart, sharp moves that no one wants to do. And
Yeah.
It's how you have to go about it.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's have some fun with it. Up at quarterback, it's sort of
What'd you say?
up
Quarterback
at
or
running back.
Running back. Okay.
Obviously, Le'Veon Bell apparently is back.
He's back.
It's going to be tough on DK. I know it's much easier on FanDuel to fit these guys in. Le'Veon's 9,500 on my side. That is very true. Oh, my God.
Just saying.
Yeah.
It helps
No,
you.
you're right. We didn't really discuss Gurley.
We didn't, but I love him.
Yeah, I think he's a play. He's going to be a play every week. The Seattle defense isn't good against the run.
Yep.
Um,
I don't like Gurley as a running back, but as the running back for the Rams and that system, I love him. And yeah, so I'll keep harping on that, but whatever. I don't want listeners to think I'm just, oh yeah, this and that every week.
right.
Like, obviously it's working, but I still don't think he's a great running back per se, but that's my opinion.
On DK, the mid tier, my favorite play is probably Carlos Hyde. I think people are going to go to Fournette. I think that's a trap. I think Gordon's a trap. I don't necessarily mind McCaffrey this week. They priced him down at 57 on DK. I don't hate that. There's not a lot of value in running back. Last week we kind of had those Rodgers and Powells to play, but they kind of priced everything up. I don't mind Jay Stu at 3,900 as a tournament play. It's 3,900 if you need salary relief in order to play some studs. You go. I think that's not a horrible place to go for 3,900, especially he has touchdown equity. And if this offense is alive again, I mean, we'll see. But I don't think they're going to be able to do what they did last week through the air.
Okay.
What about FanDuel?
All right, so Le'Veon's the top option at 9,500. Then you have Kareem Hunt, which I'm not going to be playing at 9,000. Elliott at 8,900. I like Gurley better at 78, so I'm probably going to have small amounts of Elliott. McCoy's off the board for me this week against a tough Cincinnati defense at 8,200. Fournette at 7,600, mid-tiers. But like I said, Gurley's 200 more, so I'm going there.
Sure.
Ajay hasn't looked good at 7,300. Not touching him. Rather go to Carlos Hyde at 7,200. 7,100, Melvin Gordon, not in love with him. Like I said, rather go Hyde there as well. Then we get into 6,500, Lamar Miller, Murray, don't love them really much. 6,000, Johnson, Duke Johnson. You didn't mention him, but I don't know if he's expensive over there. I just think he's the guy over there. He's saying 10, 7, 6, 5 targets.
No, he's 49. So he would offer some pretty good relief.
You could just look at the game logs. He's had good games, and
sure.
he's obviously one of the main guys they're targeting there. So GPPs love that if you're running the Josh McCown.
Now that I look at it, yeah, on DK,
yeah,
Duke might be in all my lineups.
I might. Also, for me, 5,400, it's not PPR, but again, Andre Ellington, what did he see? 14 targets last week, 8 targets the week before. Only 5 rushing attempts, but if he's going to get that much volume for 5,400, I can dart throw that and running back, but...
I would much rather play Duke Johnson, though. Again, rather than Ellington. No, and I'm not even talking... Because, right, he's going to have to dump it down. But
yeah.
I just don't like West Coast teams going East Coast. Like if I have to choose between the two, they're $300 apart. I think Duke Johnson's just a little safer.
Here's a stat for you though. Philly, average yards per attempt for running backs 7.5. That ranks 27th out of 32. So
but Andre Ellington isn't a running back.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's not a running back. Yes, he's a running back, but he is not a running back. Chris Johnson is a running back. But they're playing Chris Johnson.
I'm not talking about yards per attempt per run, per pass.
Oh, for pass. Okay.
Yeah. So, like, coming out of the backfield.
Sure.
And so, yeah, like, just food for thought. Like, they're, like, the, fifth worst in the league? I see it. I like it. But yeah, for FanDuel, that's pretty hard, and I'm probably not going to do it because I like Gurley and Le'Veon and Hyde way more. But if you're looking to punt, that's the guy I would look at.
All right. Well, how about wide receivers? How you see us breaking down there?
All right. So at the top, we have Odell and Brown and Nelson. Nelson's the guy. AJ Green interests me. We didn't talk about this game, but Buffalo's been really good, and I believe in their defense. But I think AJ Green could be a contrarian play that goes off, and he can beat them.
What's your price difference between him and Brown?
200. Oh, I'm sorry. 500, 8,800 to 83, and and people are gonna play Brown still against Jacksonville.
Sure, I think more people are gonna play Bell. I think Brown's the contrarian pick this week.
Maybe. I don't think he could beat that. I don't think anyone could beat that pass defense.
But
they are that good, and I believe in it, and I've seen it, and they showed it. I just don't think I think it's not worth it. I think it's minus EV. Now Buffalo, they've looked good, but we've seen these guys before. Gains, they weren't good, and Julio was about to have a good game. He was gonna have a good game. It started off strong. He was, oh my god, he was gonna have a big game. Yeah. And then Sanu went out. He could have had a decent. I just think not a lot of people are looking at AJ Green, and it's a great GPP throw. I'm not playing him in cash, but great GPP to go off of even Nelson. Like Nelson obviously has a better matchup and stuff, but
it's a good pivot.
It's a good pivot. So those are the top 4 guys: Beckham, Brown, Nelson, Green. Then we get here. You have a drop off from 8,300 to 7,500. Keenan Allen is 7,500, but I don't like him. I like Tyreek Hill for GPPs only. T.Y. Hilton at 73 is a good play.
So cheap on my site.
Oh, I have 7,700 for Hopkins. That's the guy in the mid tier. That's my guy. I'm gonna be going after. And then T.Y. Hilton 73. I said. Then we move down to 6,700. We have Garcon, Tate, Fitzgerald, all 3 at 6,700, and then Cobb at 6,600. I'd just rather go Cobb over all those guys. And then we get lower here. John Brown, 6,200 on FanDuel. If he plays, great play, but we got to see. But then we start going down. Shepard's okay at 6,000. I don't love Marshall this week. Ryan Matthews, 5,600. Great bounce back spot. But I won't use him in cash, only GPP. Sure. Curse. If I'm going all the way down, I'm going all the way down to 4,500 to Jerron Brown, and that's it. Like, I don't need to go after all those guys. Or Allison if Devontae Adams is out. He's at 46. So those are my 2 guys down there that if I need the salary relief, that's where I'm going. Allison and Jerron Brown on FanDuel.
Awesome. On DK, obviously, we have the same basic frontier. From a PPR full point perspective, I don't mind Keenan Allen. Obviously, I love Nelson and Odell. It's going to be... I haven't done too much roster construction yet. I don't know how hard it is to fit a lot of these guys in there. They priced up Larry Fitz to 6,800. I'm off that because $100 less I can have Randall Cobb. I don't mind Parker, but no, I'm not playing it. In that mid tier, I like Ty. I like Dez at 65.
I didn't say Parker. Sorry, 6,100 on FanDuel. He's a lock for me. But
on DraftKings, I'd rather go to 58 and play Landry. I'm not too. You going back to Devin Funches?
No, I was never on Funches. I think he's terrible. So when he had the best spot, that was his probably best outcome. And it's because New England just refused to cover him, like not even within 5 feet. So whatever, take it for what it is.
Pass defense isn't that great.
Their defense.
Their defense is overall. I know, but if Slay's on Benjamin,
I just don't think the upside's there.
How did they not get priced up?
It's not worth it. Like I don't love it. What's Funches?
I have Benjamin at 59 and Funches at 56.
No. Are there guys that we talked about that we like? Because
Not really.
Like, no.
Shepard, but you're not a big Shepard guy. I'm not really
I'd rather
on
Shepard.
Martavius Bryant.
Actually,
In the lower tier, I do like Allen Hurns this week. Lee is questionable. It's Bortles on the road, I know, but if you want some value, I mean, the Steelers have had some pretty easy matchups so far. Going up against. Who did they play? Cleveland, Minnesota, Chicago, Baltimore. Okay, these aren't good passing offenses. I'm not saying the Jacksonville Jaguars are a great passing offense, but they're probably better than 3 out of the 4 passing offenses. They're not better than Cleveland, Chicago, Baltimore.
They're better. They're receivers. They're receivers.
Yes, yeah.
But Blake Bortles might be worse than.
But Bortles still the second best quarterback they're going to face.
I just think there's a lot of turnovers that are going to happen.
Blake Bortles might be the best quarterback they're facing right now. In 5 games.
My point is, he's still terrible.
I agree.
So
I'm not playing Blake Bortles. I'm playing Allen Hurns.
I don't think you play Allen Hurns.
Maybe.
That's fine.
He
got 10
targets.
A lot of targets. Okay.
Yeah.
It's fair. It's fair in that argument.
Right. Other than that, I'll Allison as a value play. I don't mind Aguilar in a GPP. You saw it. That second outside wide receiver. So, what
would you say?
Smith?
Torrey Smith?
Yeah, I think he's going to be my GPP dart.
That's fine for GPP.
And I don't even, like I said, you saw Aldrick Robinson and Marquise Goodwin get all those targets. The other side, you can't really attack the middle of Arizona. And then Kenny Stills, I don't mind him. If you're trying to punt, I like Smith or Stills. 1% of 1% of a league.
Yeah.
On the tight end, look, I'm not trying to play Zach Ertz. I think he's now outpriced right now. Charles Clay, I think he's always in play at 4,800 on DK. But give me cheap, give me good. I'll even go back to Tyler Kroft. I mean, he's their second red zone option right now. So there's a lot of good cheap tight ends this week. I wouldn't pay up if you don't have to. Now that Gronk's off the board, I don't have Kelsey on mine because of the way they did the slate. No one's going to be high owned, so have fun with it and pick whoever you think.
Yeah,
there's a lot of good
FanDuel,
tight ends.
On FanDuel, we do have Kelsey. He's the highest at 7,000. Not paying that. Then $400 cheaper is Ertz. Again, don't love the matchup. The target should be there though. He might be able to reach what he needs to, just purely based off the volume. But again, don't love the play. After that, Delaney Walker. I haven't heard anything on him. I don't know. He doesn't look anything.
Nah. No,
you're hoping for a touchdown.
As long as Mariota's not there, you're not playing.
Yeah. Then you have Graham, who has a great matchup this week, but he's looked terrible. I'm not playing him.
Right.
Then you have Clay 5,700. Like you said, he's getting the value there, but for $200 cheaper.
Right. You're just gonna go to the lowest you like and play it.
Jenkins, and then Ingram $100 cheaper, which I love.
But that's what you're gonna keep going lower, and you're gonna keep finding something you like. ASJ, Tyler Kroft,
Jared Cook this week against Baltimore.
The lower you go, the more. Yeah, there's just a lot of good value in tight end.
For EJ Manuel.
Absolutely.
For EJ Manuel, probably gonna love the tight end. Baltimore
he'll be in a GPP for me.
GPP, and then Hunter Henry has to be in a GPP because the Giants are terrible. And then if you want to go on the other side of that Oakland game, Benjamin Watson for Flacco. Oakland's been terrible against the tight end as well, so you can play all these guys in GPPs. But the two main guys for me are Jenkins and Ingram. Those are my cash guys.
Defense, real quick. I like the Steelers. Don't mind the Bengals. I like the Eagles because I just think the Cardinals are going to be gassed. That's really all I'm looking to play.
I got some.
Go for it.
All right. Steelers, obviously.
Sure.
That's easy. My big GPP play is the Jets defense. I don't think anything's going to be done on Cleveland's side, and Kaiser's probably going to make some mistakes. And the passing defense has been But Morris Claiborne, I could see him picking off something. I could see some sacks. So that's my GPP play. And I actually like the Bengals as well. And to throw a fourth one out there, the Lions against Carolina.
They keep racking up points, man.
They keep racking up points.
I was on them last week.
Newton is done. Newton's shoulder looks terrible. He still looked bad that last week. His arm it looks like he's taking his whole body to throw the ball instead of his arm. He just looks bad. So I think that's it for defense. And then kickers. We don't talk kickers. But if we're going down there, take the guys from... You can take a lot of these guys. You can take New York Giants kicker. But I prefer the gold on San Francisco.
Sure.
And then you have Vinatieri on the other side with Brissett. They're all three the same price. And then, I'm trying to predict which guy is gonna have like last year Boswell.
Yeah, predict how many times I'm gonna get hit by lightning, guy.
But you're not gonna find guys.
You're not gonna. If there was a formula, it would be picked.
They're going to get halfway up the field and then kick it. Who's going to be that guy all the time?
The Jets.
How about Arizona?
Yeah.
That's the guy, right?
There you go.
Dawson. You play Dawson. He's going to be midway. Oh, we got to kick it.
He did it last week.
So that's what I kind of look at when I'm selecting kickers. This is obviously for FanDuel only, but I kind of want to see the inefficient offenses that can move, that kind of move a little, but then they can't finish off drives and they get stalled. Those are the guys I look to get the kickers with. Obviously. All right.
Awesome. Well,
and that's it for me. I'm done.
All right, insiders. There you go. Please subscribe to us below. Check us out on Instagram. Josh McCown.
Josh McCown win.
Check us out now on iTunes and Stitcher if you want to drive and listen to us in the car. And then always check us out on Facebook and at sportsinsider.pro. My name is Ryan. That is Justin. Good luck, everyone.